All right. Well, hello everybody. Welcome. This is chapter 2.4, where we're going to write equations of lines. So in the previous lesson, you've learned about slope. You've learned about graphing equations. In this one, we're going to do the opposite, where we're going to create the equations given a variety of information. So the four things that we'll primarily be doing here is we're going to create equations for a line given slope and y-intercept. We're going to be able to create an equation for a line given slope and a point. We're going to be able to write equations for parallel and perpendicular lines. And we're going to be able to create an equation if we're just given 2 points. Okay, so different information that will be given, we're going to create lines. So let's first talk about the three forms of linear equations. There are three major forms in which we typically write a linear equation. Two of them you've seen before. There's y equals mx plus b, and this is called slope-intercept form. And the reason why this one's called slope-intercept is because we've got two parameters here, the slope and the y-intercept. And so if we are given the, I should say given or can find slope and y-intercept, this is the type of equation that we want to use. Okay, so if the information that we can find is slope and y-intercept, this is generally the best form to use. Okay. Second, we have one that you may not have seen before, that we definitely haven't studied in these videos yet, is what's called point-slope form. And it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And in this case, the m is the slope, and the x1 and the y1, that's these parameters right here, they make a point. And it's a point on the line. It doesn't matter where along the line, it's just a point that's on the line already. So again, if we're given the slope, I keep doing that. If we're given the slope or a point, this is the best form to use. Again, it's called point-slope form. Forgot to write that above. And notice that these things are not particularly creatively named, right? This one's slope and intercept. This one's point and slope. The name of the form tells us the information we need to know. This last one is ax plus by equals c. It's called standard form. You did some graphing of these in the last lesson. The a, the b, and the c have no special meaning. So it's not like it's the slope or the point or anything like that. The a, b, the c have no particular special meaning. They're just numbers, okay? This particular form is best used when we have two rates. We don't have any examples of that one in this one, so we won't be using this one as much in this lesson, but we will in the future. But it's particularly when we have certain types of story problems where we're combining two different rates to see like the total. Like I'm buying this many of this thing and this many of this thing. This is my total. This is the kind of form we use. All right. So let's go ahead and start by looking at a given slope and y-intercept. So over here on the right, we have a graph, and notice that it crosses the y-axis, which tells us that we can find the y-intercept. We're not being given the slope, but we can see the line, so we can find the slope. So with these two pieces of information, slope and y-intercept, we want to use slope-intercept form. And that's y equals mx plus b. So if we can identify these two things, we can simply plug in for those parameters, and we have our equation. So where's my y-intercept? I'm looking on my y-axis, and it crosses right here. And the y value is -2. So the y-intercept is -2. What's my slope? Well, I can see it from here. Remember, slope is the change in y over the change in x. So how far up am I going? 1, 2, 3. So that's a 3. And how far to the right am I going? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. Looks like my slope is 3/4, right? I know it's positive because it's going up as it goes to the right. So my equation then, I plug in my slope, 3/4 x, plug in my -2, is y equals 3/4 x minus 2. So remember, it's all about finding the information that we can get and then using the appropriate form. In this case, I could find the y-intercept and I could find the slope. So slope-intercept form was the best form for me to use. Okay, that's going to conclude this video with some practice on your Canvas that I'd like you to go back and check out. So if you could go do those problems for me, and then we'll have the answers for that as well as a couple more examples in our next video. So we'll see you in a minute.